All right. So I've gone through a lot of images. I've limited my imagery down to this pile, this stack of possible pictures that I can still use because I'm not quite sure exactly what I want to do yet. 100% anyway. I have some ideas, but I'm not quite there yet. But I found some subject matters that I thought were fun or cute that really kind of went along with my theme that I was going through. I found this blue butterfly wing, although the problem is there's only half of it, but maybe I can do something with it. I found this cute donut, this girl, that you've seen before with the umbrella, this parrot, okay, a hammock. So I was kind of playing around, with these pieces that I have right now. I thought maybe this hammock would be great to cover up that girl. Although I'm not quite sure yet. I'm not quite sure how that would work. And then I was thinking maybe if I, keep cutting out this alligator, maybe I'll have this kind of coming out of the water here and snapping up. Maybe I don't even want this woman. Maybe I just want that cute dog right there. I wanted to have this parrot feeding that dog. Maybe I'm going to fit her over here. So it's kind of still not coming together. But I have some parts and, I'm starting to collect some ideas. I also need to keep in mind that I'm going to have some space up in the top and bottom here that I need to fill in. So I kind of found this cityscape. I was thinking maybe that this will be the retreat from the city life to a tropical island vacation. But one of the things I really, really, really wanted to have was a palm tree. It just made sense to me to have a palm tree to go with my ocean, but I couldn't find one for the life of me. And you might find this. You might be searching and searching and searching for an image and you can't find it. So we make it on our own. So what I did is I cut out a palm tree template. And I kind of thought that maybe if I positioned it over here on the left, it might be good. Or maybe I want to put it over here on the right. Either way, I really think that I can use it to cover up that girl. And then, because I have my hammock, I might want my hammock to be hanging from the tree. Let's see if I flip it the other direction. And I can really cover up that girl pretty well, right? I mean, besides her shadow down here. But I can really cover her up pretty nicely if I have that tree. Although I'm just not going to leave it, white like that. I really want to make sure it kind of looks like a tree. So what I want to do, or what I did, is I know that a tree, the trunk is made out of browns. So I started going through my magazines and I started finding colors that I thought would be good browns for the base. So I have some browns here. It even has this cool little pineapple I can use. I also know that the trees, the palms, are green, so I saw this texture in the background. I saw some browns and some texture and, green in here. So you might not even really like the subject matter, whatever it is that you're cutting, but more the textures and the colors that you need to make another item. So what I started doing is going through and I'm cutting out the colors that I need. So in the base here, I kind of started to cut out little snippets of brown. And then I can go through here and start to put together a palm tree by, cutting out what I need. If you don't have it, if you can't find those resources, then that's when our art skills come in and we kind of start to draw it out ourselves. So I started cutting and I'm going to keep on cutting to go ahead and collage in the color and texture and values that I see and find through my resources. So it's not always about the subject matter. It's not always about the background. Sometimes you're going to find that you'll have to create your own imagery and you're going to cut out textures and patterns and other things and manipulate them to create what it is that you need. Okay, so maybe I put that there and I'll raise this one up a little bit. Then I could go through and I'm going to do the same thing with the green. I might just start by cutting out certain shapes. So I could go in here. I could place this underneath. Maybe I'm going to take a pen. Maybe you want to start to cut out some of this green in here. Maybe I'll do this side. put this underneath here. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to actually just go ahead and cut that out. But I could have placed this under there and traced around it. That might be helpful to some of you. But this area right here, I think, provides itself really nicely to one of the leaves of that palm tree. Okay, so I might cut in there. Maybe I'll cut it a little bit shorter. So I could start to put together and piece together some of these leaves, right? And it doesn't have to go exactly by this base. It was just sort of to give me a template of the general shape. Now, maybe what I do, and maybe I go in here, like, okay, that's going to be my leaf. But it's not perfect, you know, palm trees aren't perfect like that. So maybe I go through here, and I'm going to take my scissors or the X-Acto knife, and I start to give it some real texture by using my X-Acto knife and giving it a little bit of fringe, right? Go line along here, okay, and go through here. Give it some fringe to give it that texture, that feeling of texture that palm trees really kind of have. All right. So that's another collaging technique, is by tearing, ripping, cutting out the colors to start to make the subject matters. If you're unable to find those visual resources, because you're going to come across that. Okay, maybe I go in there now and I start to have that visual texture. I have those colors to start to piece together my palm tree. And then, like I said, I'll start to piece together slowly the subject matter of my my collage by cutting out all these individual pieces. Maybe I want to hide my parrot underneath behind there so he's poking out. Cover up the hat there. It's a little distracting. Just feed that puppy dog. Okay, whatever it might be. As you see, I've kind of gotten rid of that chick. You don't know she's there. Now, I also cut out, this piece here, because I thought, well, maybe I'm going to collage it over here on the side because I knew that there was some of that extra space, or maybe I want to do it back here. So you might be combining two different backgrounds to make a new background. Like, I also found this piece. Maybe I want to use this piece in the background here so we can see, the water. That might be nicer than those words that we've seen earlier. But then maybe I want to go ahead and cut the city out so you see how it creates kind of that new background in there from this background and the cityscape. Okay? Maybe I'll just go ahead and cut off these words. I know I don't want those. I don't want to cover up that surfer necessarily, so maybe I'll just make sure let's just put it right there. So maybe I kind of cover up. Maybe I don't need all that. Maybe I cover this up. Maybe I turn this the other direction. Although I want these fish down here. So it's just a lot of playing around and seeing what works, what doesn't work in your personal collage. Okay? Play around with turning things, trying different backgrounds, finding different resources that are going to fit with whatever it is that you are going to try to create. You don't really start off with any visual necessarily in mind. It's just a lot of cutting, manipulating, moving things around. And then eventually, once you have decided on that perfect composition, then you'll start pasting. But until then, it's a lot of experimenting, going back and forth between your resources to find things that may or may not work, and making things happen for you. So another thing that I've done is I cut out this guy just as a sample. I don't even think I don't want to use him, but I just cut him out just to show you another way that you can manipulate some imagery and make things into another composition. So I cut him out in the same fashion that I cut my girl with the umbrella, right? I cut out all the negative space and stuff I didn't want. And same thing with my donut. So now maybe I start to mix together other things. So maybe I take this little donut and I put it around his arm here. So now he has that wrapped around his arm, kind of starting to create things. Maybe instead of using the other one, maybe I go ahead and take my parrot and it's feeding him the little wheat thin instead. Or maybe I have my alligator in here, it's chomping at his feet, and that's why he's screaming, ow. Anyway, there's a lot of fun that you guys can have in creating new stories with all these random images and then putting them together to try to create a new story with them, a new composition, a new meaning, or new purpose. Okay, wrap this around, cover it up. So this is really just the beginnings of collaging. Okay, lots of manipulation, lots of cutting, lots of image resource to work from, pick through, add to start to create.